to Bert. Bert Wanacott is the guy who created our technology. Yeah!
Thank you for selling it.
We started our efforts, and I actually started working with some nano people in 2017. 2018, we met Bert. Bert and I were in New York, and he said, how would you like to own your own technology? Because I can design something that's very different and more effective than what you're looking at. That wasn't a hard sell. So Bert joined us, and that was obviously a gift, and he has credited the Lord with giving him the inspiration to design the equipment and have it come through. Of course, you've already met Aaron, and this is Aaron. Why don't you introduce everybody else?
You got it, Steve. Steve's like, I got to figure out who actually works for us. So you guys have met, I'll just go around this way. You guys have met Sean. Of course, Sean's Steve's son. We've got Chris Fowler, who is our COO.
Another big gift.
Welcome. Big gift. We've got Alessandra Ortuste, who is literally bringing in another big gift. You can't tell, she wears black, but she's pregnant. And anyway, so Alessandra is our director of operations here. So a lot of the foundational pieces that have been done over the last literally year and a half, 2 years.
She's been with us. Well, I guess the way it worked, it was Ryan and me, and then were you before Justine?
Justine was first.
Then Justine came, and then Alessandra. That was the original team. Money was going out like crazy, and we didn't know what we were doing marketing-wise. We knew we had a great technology and a great product that would change lives, because we were already seeing that through a couple clinics, like Dr. Crozier's clinic in Florida was doing a lot of work with his patients. And then we went on Jim Baker, and I wanted to test the market and see if there'd be a television response. Well, we sold 60,000 bottles in 4 appearances, and that's about $3 million worth. So it looked like TV was going to be the way we were going to go. We had people pleading with us to do network marketing. Alex Monterosa, Michael Firth, Rhonda and Sherry. I will tell you, a conflict of interest. Rhonda and Sherry also are co-owners of the company. They invested at the early stage when you could invest. Nobody can invest now because we're past that stage. But they saw what we had, and they knew it was going to. And they asked me, would you have room for 2 more investors? And they have been my friends and partners in life really for about 15 years. So they came on in, and then came Bert. And Bert said, why lease the technology when you can own it, basically? And sure enough, he delivered big time. The previous guy, when we were doing with Jim Baker, a tote, as you will see, is 300 gallons. How many were contaminated from that guy?
He made us a batch of 18 totes, and of that, 18 were contaminated.
Oh.
Wow. And meanwhile, we had...
It took us another 6 weeks, and we finally got another 8 totes, and another 8 totes were contaminated. So that was about the time that we said, time out.
Yeah.
We'll switch over.
And the reason for the contamination was this guy,
stuff.
but he was blaming. he kept blaming it on our raw materials. And funny, when we started doing it ourselves with the same raw materials, how many was that first?
Overall, we've done, what would you say, 200 totes now?
That's times 300 gallons.
And we've had 1 set that went bad because of a raw material, and that's about it. Maybe 1 or 2 that are. But we test every time we build a tote, and we'll go back there and give you a tour of the place. But once we make a tote, we test it here. We send that out to a third-party testing facility before it even leaves our plant. And so we don't send out bad totes. It's just pure and simple. When it gets to our bottler, they test it Of course they test it because they don't wanna have bad product going through their system, you know. So they test it, they run it, bottle it, package it, they test the final product. So we actually have 4 separate, 3 of which, tests that are outside third parties.
Yeah, and the bottler doesn't test it himself. They send it out
Yeah, it's-
for independent third-party testing.
Yeah, all the way down the line, so we catch it if it's a problem here. We've had a couple.
Yeah.
We've caught them. But by the nature of it, we probably put out 200 pure totes. So we feel like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, the one that was
These
contaminated
know
that I
what
tried
they're doing.
before we sent it out, it does have a little
does.
effect, but not much.
Managed them well.
All right, so I'll keep going. Tara is not part of the employee